This is a little bit different sitting here, but I might like it. There's a little bit more room. I'm in an actual chair instead of sitting on a little footstool on the floor. And the lighting in here is a little bit shadowy, but good. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come here. Cricket's meowing at me. Come here. But I wanted to say hello and welcome to the Fibre Nerd Podcast. My name is Allison Barnes, and I am the indie dyer for Allison Barnes Yarn. This is a podcast about knitting and crocheting and hand dyeing yarn and even a little bit of spinning today. If this is your first time checking out my podcast, welcome, and I hope you enjoy watching it. And if you do, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe so that you can follow when I post more videos. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I think I don't know what episode this is, 20? 20? 21? I don't know. But it is Tuesday, June something. I don't have a calendar in front of me. 18th, 19th? It might be the 19th of June. I don't know. 2018. And I live in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada with my husband and my son and my 3 cats, Wicket, Cricket, and Kennedy. And Cricket was the cat that just briefly passed by here. I see there are some strange passing shadows behind me. I'm sitting in my kitchen for something different today. It's a more open and airy room than my studio, and I don't have to close the curtains to film a podcast in here. I'm having some reheated coffee in my Sprixieland ceramic pottery mug that I love so much. And it says, choose joy on the inside, and I choose joy every day. I try to. This mug was just perfect. It spoke to me, and I had to buy it, and I got it at a local market this year. Yeah. But you can find them on the internet. I think they're called Sprixieland Studios. I think they're based out of BC. I think in the Okanagan, I'm not quite sure. And they have a website. And I will try and link that below. But if not, you can just Google them. Sprixieland. Just how it sounds, with a sh and a prixie and the land. Sorry guys, feeling a little goofy today. I had planned to podcast after mowing the lawn this afternoon, but my backyard is still damp from being watered this morning. So I just mowed the front lawn and then came inside and had a shower and gathered all my things for this podcast because I have some FOs to show you today. Oh, before we talk about FOs, I guess I should tell you that we have a Ravelry group called Allison Barnes Yarnies. And on all the social medias, I have a few different handles on social media. Excuse me while I just get comfy in my chair. So I have a few different Instagram accounts. My main one is Allison Barnes Yarn. That's at Allison Barnes Yarn. I am also Yarn Lady YEG. The YEG stands for Edmonton. And I also have a Instagram account for this podcast called Fibre Nerd Podcast. And I don't post on there very often. I mainly just post on there when I'm announcing that I've recorded a video and posted a video for you guys. And I'm starting to show a bit more knitting on there. But if you're all into all of the yarn all of the time, you can follow me at my Allison Barnes Yarn account. And if you're looking for more family, home life, knitting, that kind of thing, you can follow me at Yarn Lady YEG, and also Fibre Nerd Podcast. Don't ask me why I started another account for the podcast. I guess I just kind of thought it would be fun. So I think it's been a couple weeks since my last episode, and at that time I was really close to finishing a couple of works in progress. And the first one being the sun shower shawl, And in that episode, I announced the winner of the knit along, and that was Ariana, and Ariana received her prize. And I ended up finishing my sun shower shawl like the day after the podcast, I think. So I brought it today to show you. I was so happy to get this off the needles. I really enjoyed the knit and I love the finished product. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's going to be really hard giving this away to the person it is intended for. I'm not going to say her name just in case she watches this. I don't think she does, but you never know. So this is the Sun Shower Shawl by Ines Sang, and she is Yumi Rumi Knits on Instagram. And I used a skein of Sea Turtle Fibre Arts on their Ridley sock base. This is this one. And a skein of Poppy Yarn and Fibre on their Sparkle sock base. And this one's called Fanciful. And this one didn't have a name on the tag. And this was my first time doing a picot bind off, which I followed the written instructions in the pattern without looking at the video first. And so then basically I didn't do the first 2 picots correctly. I ended up making what looks like buttonholes because I just didn't understand the written instructions. So after that I said, no, that doesn't look right. I've seen picots before. They're supposed to look like this. So I watched the recommended video and had an aha moment, and I finished the rest of the bind off. It is quite large. It blocked out beautifully. I'm really happy with how it blocked out. I'm really happy with my blocking wires. I think that if you plan to knit a lot of shawls, that you should invest in blocking wires. Yeah, so that is my finished sun shower shawl to be put away until it is that person's birthday. And I'm sure she'll love it because purple is her favorite color. So yeah, sitting in the kitchen here is kind of nice. I still get to see, you know, all around me, and I get to sit in a real chair, and I have a lot of room to spread everything out around me. Time for a sip. And dribble down my face. Okay, then my next finished object is my back shore. It is a pullover sweater. The pattern is written by Alicia Plummer, and it is a DK weight sweater. And it is right here. I think what I'll do is I'm gonna pause the video and try it on, and then stand back from the camera so that you guys can see it. It's really warm. We're in a heat wave here in Edmonton, and I just can't wear the sweater right now. Although I have worn it twice, I think, since I finished it. So this is the sweater. I made the sleeves elbow length. I had enough yarn to do full sleeves. I actually have half a skein left of each of the 2 colors, which means I only used a skein and a half of each color to knit this sweater. And it's you can't see, it comes to about the middle of my hips, and the 2 colors that I used are faded denim, and that's in my that is my hand-dyed yarn in DK weight. It's called Classic DK, and the speckle color is from Haven Fibre Arts in her First Day of Spring colorway. The neckline, which you pick up and knit a couple rounds and then bind off, is said to do a stretchy bind off, but I didn't really want it to be like a wobbly, loose bind off, and I didn't want it to really gape or like fall down. And I have plenty of room to get it over my head, and I think the bind off looks really, really nice. It really finishes it off. The cuff around the elbow is in this kind of a woven textured pattern, and the bottom of the bottom hem is the same woven texture. And the reason for me ending at the elbows is because, well, I originally thought that of doing like a 3/4 sleeve, but because of the number of rows you have to knit of each color, the next blue would have gone to here, and then I didn't want to bind off, I didn't want to do this textured pattern in the speckled colorway. I wanted it to match the hem, so I ended it just a little bit early, which is fine because I mostly push sleeves up to my elbows anyway. So I didn't see the point of having them kind of in an awkward length. Yeah, so that is my back shore, and I'm really happy with it. It's got a little bit of a crease because it's been folded and put away. I did block it, I wet blocked it, but I didn't stretch it out. I just basically pinned down the hem because it was rolling a little bit, and I didn't even really pin down the collar because it is meant to have a little bit of a roll. Yeah, but I'm really happy with it, and once it is not like 30 degrees outside, I'll probably wear it more often. All right, I have put that away for now because it is much too hot to wear it. Cricket is jumping on the counter, and now she's on the kitchen table, and she's rubbing her face on my dishcloth. Cricket. She's such a weirdo. Cricket. Okay, I gotta go get her. Now, I put the cloth on the floor for her so she's not up on the kitchen table, but she's like literally rolling around on the kitchen cloth. Anyway, on to my next, I have a hoe. It's not a fully finished object, but it is a sock. And it is in my bag from Kitchen Sink Shop. She is on Etsy as Kitchen Sink Shop CA. And the first sock I finished is this gigantic beast, which was supposed to be for me. But my tension keeps changing. And I went down a needle size this time. So the last socks I made fit okay. They were a little bit loose, so I thought I'll go down a needle size and knit the same way. Well, my tension loosened up in between that pair and this sock. So it probably has a good ½ inch of positive ease. That is not what you want for your sock. So then I thought, it's probably gonna fit my husband or my dad, and my husband has no interest in wearing wool socks. So I found out what size feet my dad has, and luckily he wears a men's size 8, so I only had to knit a ½ inch more before the toe decreases. He tried it on and it fits great, so I cast on my second sock right away. The yarn is from Mud Punch Yarns. I don't have the tag. It's from Mud Punch Yarns. It's a test. It was one of her tester bases, and I don't recall the name of the color. But I made a pair of socks in the same yarn for my mom. So my dad's getting shorties with the leftover yarn. And all I did was I'll show you the sock that I currently have on the needles. So I'm using my 9-inch circular Chow Goose in the size 2.5 millimeter. I cast on 64 stitches. I did a 2x2 rib for 10 rows. Then I did 4 rounds of stockinette before starting the heel. It is a regular slip stitch heel. And I'm using a Progress Keeper from my friend Emma, who is colorfully handmade on Instagram. And she made a bunch of these clay charm stitch markers for our knitting group one day. I think it was last year. So I chose the bacon and eggs because that was funny. So I'm almost done the heel flap, then I'll do the turn, and then the gusset decreases, and I'm hoping that it turns out relatively close to the same size as this one. And I should have enough yarn to make it the same because I've been weighing the ball of yarn. It doesn't look like I have a lot left, but it should be plenty to knit the rest of this sock. So that's pretty cool. I got a pair of regular length socks and a pair of shorties with contrast toe out of one skein of yarn. So I think that's pretty good bang for your buck. But since I couldn't fit those socks, I decided to cast on some socks for myself. This is a bag from Ginger Snap That. And inside I am knitting off of a sock blank from Ginger Snap That. This is a sock blank that I bought at the Edmonton Fibre Frolic in 2017. And these sock blanks are painted and dyed by Colin, who is affectionately known as Mr. Snap That. And all I did was barely cast on. I am trying the, what's it called? Not the Jelly Roll. Rose City Rollers. I'm trying the Rose City Rollers pattern. And I can't remember the name of the designer, but I'll either put it on the screen here or put it in the down bar. It is a free pattern on Ravelry, and they are a shorty sock with a rolled cuff. So, my friend Ariana suggested that since I seem to not be fitting a 64 stitch sock, that I go down in stitch count to knit my sock. But I still wanted to go down in needle size. So these are on 2.25 millimeter 9-inch circular Chiaogu needles. And I tried casting on for 60 stitches, but 60 stitches wouldn't fit around on the needles. And I was having a heck of a time trying to join it in the round. I just couldn't do it. It would not work. So I cast on 64 stitches instead, which is what I've been doing all along. And the first few rounds were really difficult. They were, it was hard for me to slide the stitches across because I must have cast on extra tightly, I don't know. But now that I have a few rounds in, the stitches are sliding across them pretty easily. I just barely started, so I'll this is gonna be my kind of my travel knitting for a while, because I still have to finish the heel flap on my dad's sock, and I don't like doing the heel turn and picking up the stitches and stuff when I'm out and about, because I feel like I need to concentrate on that a little bit more. Yeah, so one day I will get my perfect sock recipe, but today is not that day. So maybe these will fit me, I don't know. Maybe I need to go down to like a size 0 needle. This is size 1, 2.25 millimeter. I don't know if I'm against going down to a size 0. All I know is that I can't fit 60 stitches on my needles, on the 9-inch circular needles. And the last time I tried knitting magic loop for socks, it really hurt my hands. The cat's back on the kitchen table. Cricket, get down, get down, get down, get down. Yeah, she's a good listener. So that's it for, well, it's not really it for whips. There is one more. My dad's sweater. I picked it back up again since I finished my back shore. And it's in this very large sweater size project bag from Prairie Dye Studio. And I love, love, love the cows. Cows are so fun. So I am doing the Chicane sweater by Cookie A. I'm gonna try and find a picture for you. Do I have a good picture? No. This was printed on my old printer when I was running out of ink. Oh, here's the front cover. Come here. Yeah, it's a terrible picture. Oh, it doesn't look too bad on the screen. This is Chicane. It has a really cool arm detail. long ribbed cuffs, a ribbed collar, and it is a zipper closure, which is something that my dad requested. He wanted a zippered up sweater. And he chose the color. But I am using some Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Superwash in their worsted weight. And this color is called Camel Heather. And I have quite a few skeins. These are 50-gram skeins, and I have lots. I'm knitting the 6 size in the pattern, and this pattern is written for men and women. So there's a little bit of difference between the styles and the fit between the men's and women's sizes. The women's have shaping and the men's does not. So I cast on the left front panel. Sometime last week. I haven't knit on it too much, but it works up really fast. Like, I did the ribbing super fast, and ribbing takes forever for me usually. I really like the yarn. I love the color. And, you know, it's not knitted at a super tight gauge, so I think that helps. I'll show you what I completed before. This is the back panel. It's rolling right now, but you block it before you stitch it together. And I just noticed a snag. Ah, rats. There's a snag in the sweater. That doesn't look very nice. Oh, that looks bad. Oh, it's just a bit of a looser stitch that I'm hoping, whoops, will be fine when I block it out. It just a bit of a looser stitch unless it got pulled. Yeah, so I'm hoping to knit the front left and front right of the cardigans up here fairly quickly. Quickly meaning in the next month maybe, because I'm really wanting to start a cardigan project for myself, and it uses not the same needle size. I need to use this cord though. I hate using cords that are really too long for the project. So like this one's fine. This makes a 24-inch needle. These are my high sharps interchangeables. Yeah, so the pattern I want to knit for myself needs a 24-inch cable, and so maybe I'll just try and knit my dad's sweater fast, because I want to cast on this next project, which I will show you. It is in my Andrea's hand spuns bag. So yes, my former sweater was in this project bag, and now my next cast on is in the same bag. And this is what I plan to knit next. It is called Timely. It is a fitted cardigan by Truly Myrtle. And it's meant to be knit with a little bit of negative ease to 0 ease, but I kind of want to knit it a little bit bigger. So, what does it say? It says in the photo that it has 2 inches of negative ease. And to me in the photo, it kind of looks like the arms are quite tight, and I don't want that. And I want to be able to button up the cardigan. So I'm probably going to knit either the 35¼ size or 38½ size. The 35¼ size would be about 0 ease on me, so it won't be like tight, or it'll look fitted without being really tight. But I need to double check the what the arm measurements are, because then that'll help me determine if I need to knit it bigger. But first thing I need to do is do a gauge swatch, because if my gauge doesn't fall exactly in the right spot for gauge, then maybe I can decide it'll help me decide what size to knit. Yeah, does that make sense? Anyway, I'll show you the yarn I'm going to use. I'm using a speckled colorway from Midnight Cravings called Room for Everyone. And I'm pairing it with Blush from Comfy Cozy Knits. For a skinny striped but not too contrasty look, I think it's a match made in heaven. What do you think? I'm so excited for this sweater. So excited. So that's why I need to swatch. Because I want to wear this sweater. So that is future knitting. Hopefully not too distant future knitting, because I bought some sweaters quantities of yarn recently, and I'd like to knit those too. Before I get into stash enhancement, let's talk about spinning, because 2 weekends ago, I went to a Fibre artist market, an outdoor market in Stony Plain, Alberta, and I was visiting some friends there, and I was actually visiting Andrea of Andrea's Handspuns, and I bought some Blueface Leicester hand-dyed roving from her. It is non-superwash, and I spun it into a 2-ply yarn. And it's showing up a little blue here. It's a little bit more on the kind of a greenish blue side. That's not bad. Anyway, I ended up with about 190 yards. It was, I think, 3.5 ounces. I think it's 190 yards. And it is a light worsted, maybe a DK in general. And I really wanted to knit a baby sweater out of this, but I don't have enough, according to most of the patterns that I found on Ravelry, even for a newborn size. So I may have to pair it with a different hand-dyed yarn or commercial yarn to make up the difference. So can I get your opinions on a good newborn size pattern, maybe 2-color pattern or something that I can use contrast color with, because I really wanted to feature this yarn and I just don't have enough of it. So please leave me a comment below with your pattern suggestions, and I really appreciate it. So while I was at the Fibre in the Park, that's what it was called, Fibre in the Park in Stony Plain, Alberta, I also got to meet Erin from Red Fox Fibers, and I bought a skein of her yarn. Move that out of the way. Now, what's this one called? Into the Wild. This is Into the Wild from Red Fox Fibers. And I think this was the last one left, and I just had to grab it. I love the colors in this one so much. It is a 75% merino, 25% nylon, 4-ply, 463 yards. Oh, I'm reading the label wrong. Into the Wild must be the name of her base. It says colorway, few of my favorite things. And I knew that. Why did I say that wrong? A few of my favorite things. And I would say these are a few of my favorite colors. And the idea for this skein is to perhaps use it in the, what's the name of that sweater? I can't remember. I'm drawing a blank. There's so many sweater patterns coming out right now that I completely just blanked on the name of it. It's the Zwag by Caitlin Hunter. I'm thinking of using this for that lace work that's at the top, and then pairing it with like a charcoal gray for the main color. So that's the plan for now, because I really like that. So since we're talking about stash now, I need to show you what I got in the mail this week, and as well as I did like a pickup because I ordered from my girlfriend who lives in the same city as me. So let's start with that one. My friend Ashley of Comfy Cozy Knits was having an anniversary sale, and she had sweaters quantities of DK weight yarn in her shop, and one of my favorite colorways was there, and I knew, like, ever since she made this colorway, I knew I would want a sweater out of it. And this color, and there's another color that I like too, but the other color wasn't in her shop at the time. So I got a sweaters quantity of Bumbleberry. I'll take them. So I got 5 skeins. This is future knitting because I want to knit a DK weight sweater out of this color, Bumbleberry. And so right now I'm kind of leaning towards something like the timber cardigan or timber pullover. And I can't think of the designer's name right now. I'll put it here if I can remember to look it up. But I am very open to your suggestions for DK weight sweaters. I have, what do I have? 1,250 yards? No, yep, 1,250 yards of DK weight in Bumbleberry. And this, I'm very, very happy. It's gonna sit on my shelf for a while because obviously I have the Timely sweater, Timely cardigan to knit and finish my dad's sweater. And so I don't see me casting this on until maybe after Christmas or early next year. So I did splurge on some yarn from the United States a couple weeks ago, and it came in the mail last week. Hugh Loco was having a sale on some Misfit skeins and some like overstock. And so I thought this is a good opportunity for me to try her yarn. And the first color that I got is called Dynamo. And it's not picking up how gorgeously sunny and yellow this color is. So I will take one out of the package to show you. This is going to be some sort of a garment. What type? I'm not sure yet. I have 3 skeins, fingering weight. It's her Phyllis sock base, which is 75/25 superwash merino and nylon. It's 460 yards per 100 grams. Again, the colorway is called Dynamo, and it's really, really fun and super bright and cheerful. Yeah. So again, if you have any pattern suggestions for this one, I'm all ears, but I'm thinking a summer garment of some kind because these are very summery colors. So maybe like a tunic length tank top or cap sleeve top, something like that. But I definitely want to wear this on me as a garment. I also ordered some, this is 3 skeins. They're all different colors, and it's on her, I think it's merino twist base. And there's these 3 colors, and they're unnamed. They are misfit skeins, so they may not have turned out exactly how they were supposed to, and so they're kind of being sold as one-offs. And this is a 2-ply. It's a 2-ply high twist 80/20 superwash merino nylon. And all of the colors are gorgeous, and I love the neon pops in this one. And I think that these two may even kind of go together a little bit. So I don't know what they're going to be yet. They may just be held for socks, or I don't know. I just love the colors. So that's it for yarn. But I did order some bags from So Shannon, who is in Calgary, Alberta. She was at the Fibre Frolic this year, and I did not have a chance to shop at her booth. It was just too busy for me to get away. So after the Fibre Frolic, I contacted her on Instagram, and I placed a custom order for 3 large retreat bags. These are the middle size of retreat bags that she makes. She makes small retreat bags, large retreat bags, and tall retreat bags, which are 3 inches taller than the large. So I'm going to show you. I have to grab. This is the first one. Her bags are so unique because they have this stiff wire, so your bag stays open like this. They're so fun. It reminds me of a doctor's bag. And they zip closed, and the bottom is vinyl. And I asked for long handles so I can easily carry this bag on my shoulder, and I may just end up using it as a purse, because why not, right? Throw your yarn in there, throw your wallet and your phone and your keys in there, and away you go. So much fun. So that is the sheep bag. The next one I ordered is the cat bag. And they're so cute. They're cats wearing sweaters and knitting, and they're so adorable. And then the inside looks like this. Woo! Okay, so the pockets have these like yarn balls on them. And I just gave her free rein to use whatever color she wanted inside. I just chose the color of the fabric and the vinyl, and she offered suggestions for the straps. And again, it's a long-handled bag, so yeah, I could totally use this as a purse, totally, and I will. And the last bag I got is by far my favorite because it has birds on it. Birds in flower pots. Move those out of the way. See? So cute. And then when I opened up, the handles are like perfect match, this beautiful coral. And then when I opened up the bag, I just about squealed because there's more birds inside, and it's pink, and I love it. So thank you, Shannon. Those are absolutely perfect. I'm really, really happy with my purchase, and I hope you guys go and check her out. I will have her info for you. I probably put it on the screen already, and I will have it in the down bar. Okay, that's it for stash enhancement. Hello, kitty. You're in the way. Are you gonna get down? Go on. Go down. Come on. Thank you. I don't really have much for shop update news since it is almost the end of the school year for my son. They go right to the end of June. And then we have summer vacation. I will be dyeing when I can. I'm not going to be having regular shop updates. I'm going to be dyeing and adding yarn to the shop as it dries, as I can get them skeined and photographed. So I did just add a bunch of neon colors to the shop yesterday. So my neon pink and neon yellow colors are fully restocked on Basic Sock. I restocked You Had Me at Merlot on Basic Sock, which is a beautiful wine burgundy. And I will be having a bunch of DK weight yarns going into the shop. Just as soon as I can get them photographed. There will be some Dirty Cowboy, some Flowers in Your Hair, Sand in Your Toes. What else? I have some Hush on DK, some Attacked by Tiny Dragons on DK, and some blue on DK, which is not a blue solid, it's speckled blue. Actually, I'll just go and grab them so I can show them to you really quick. Okay, this is what blue looks like. And it goes perfectly with Attacked by Tiny Dragons. And it also goes nicely with Hush. And these three colors were part of an order for a fade. I have a customer doing a rose cardigan, the Rose by Andrew Mowry, and these are three of the colors that she's using. She's also using a silver gray and painted black on each end. So those are gonna look amazing together. If you guys want to put together a fade based on the colors that I currently have in my shop, I can definitely dye that up for you. You just need to send me a message. You can email me at AlisonBarnesCollection@gmail.com and we'll discuss your quantities that you need. So this is Dirty Cowboy on DK, and then that's going in the shop soon, as soon as I can get it photographed. I forgot about this one. I did up a whole bunch of Leaf Pile on DK and Flowers in Your Hair, Sand on Your Toes, which is a very lightly speckled sandy color. And last week I also dyed up a order for my Vintage Family Room set. And I have an extra one ready to ship. So if you order the Vintage Family Room set, it's actually ready to go and I can ship that out to you and you don't have to wait for it to be dyed. Okay, that is everything, I believe. I don't know if you guys are interested in hearing a little bit about what's been going on around here lately. If you do, feel free to stick around, and if not, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. But I guess with school coming to an end, we've all kind of been feeling like we're just ready to be done and have a break. My son is partially happy to be done school for the year and partially sad because he enjoys going and he really likes his teacher and seeing his friends every day. The good thing is that many of his friends live in the neighborhood and we see them at the park, or we can get together for play dates and that kind of thing over the summer. But we aren't planning to do any big activities for the first month of summer vacation because my parents, they live out at a lake lot and they're going to be there for July but not for August. They're traveling in August. So we'll probably spend as much time as we can out at the lake in July, so a few days a week or so. And then in August, my son has some activities planned, some day camps and that sort of thing. So while he's at those, I hope to do a little bit of work in the studio. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to not having to make lunches and not having to wake up at a certain time of the morning and staying up a little bit later, spending more time outside. I really like being outside in the garden. And I've also been feeling like a lot of things have been eating away at the time that I want to spend outside. We've been having some work done to our house and we have some work planned for our house, and so getting those to be set up and coordinated and colors chosen and I don't know, decisions made. Like our mortgage is up for renewal this year and we're trying to decide if we should go with a new company or stay with the same company we have based on the rates and because we have a line of credit on our house, that could make things complicated if we decide to go with a new company. And I'm tired of adulting, and I just want to play outside in the garden and sit in my what I call my pod, which is my little reading nook. I just want to watch the birds and knit, go for walks, and I don't want to have to deal with all this grown-up stuff right now. But I know that eventually it'll be done and I won't have to think about it anymore. So that's kind of what's been bringing me down a little bit lately. Yeah, so sorry for being a downer at the end, but I know there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and we just have to plug on through, right? I'm getting my hair cut on Friday. It's starting to get really shaggy. I did re-pink my hair on the weekend, but I'm thinking of going like super, super bright next time. I dilute the color a lot. It's a tinted conditioner. And so you can control the intensity of the color when you apply it to your hair, and it rinses out in probably 5 or 6 washes. So I only wash my hair a couple times a week, so it lasts longer. But since my roots are really growing now, I'm thinking of going like super bright so that it looks like I have like really, really dark roots and super bright hair. So that'll be kind of fun. Yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say today. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.